Hi Stampers, my name is Jennifer Timko with Stampin' on the Fly, and today we are going to work on this card showing you how to do partial die cutting with the Little Letters Thinlits Dies from Stampin' Up. I just love the idea that now I can make any word, any sentiment that I want to for a card. Today I'm showing you how I made my card for the Freshly Made Sketches challenge this week. All right, let's get going. All right, I don't know about you, but I end up with all kinds of these little grid sheets from classes and from stamping, and sometimes they're a bit of a mess, but I end up hoarding them because I think that's what us crafters do. We hoard things. These little grid sheets are perfect for the beginning part of how to do this technique. So what I did, and you can see all of these little letters, all it is I took my word and I spaced out my little thinlits to how I wanted them. And I took this old piece of washi tape, whatever, you can use something, it's not like it takes very much, so don't feel like you have to save it all. You can, but washi tape is perfect because it's not too sticky and you're going to be able to remove it fairly simply. So I lined it up and I just stuck the washi tape on it so that now I can move it around and not have to worry about losing a letter or messing up my spacing or anything else. It also helps me because I can do multiples of the same card, which is kind of great. All right, I'm using the paper from the Stacked with Love Stacked with Love paper stack. And I took this little red piece, and this is the one we're going to be using to die cut. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out my magnetic plate for you. Let's see if we can't get some of this stuff out of the way for you. So here's my magnetic plate for my big shot. And I know I'm right at the end, but this is the working end, and this is the part you're going to really care about a lot. And then I have my plate. And yes, my plates are truly in dreadful, dreadful condition. But I use them a lot and they work good, so no reason to change them out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to figure out how far up I want my words to be. I'm going to put down a little piece of wax paper. I do find that that makes these thinlits cut cleaner, and the clean cut really, really matters for this technique. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to line the word up where I want it to be. This particular design has a little bit of a print in it that has lines, and for me visually that kind of helps me. So I'm making sure that this looks like the words are going to be pretty straight, and then I'm going to just tack it down. And actually I don't want to tack it down quite yet, thank goodness for washi tape. And then I'm going to move this down, and you can see hopefully that I am moving it. There is the edge of my plate, and I am moving this just off the edge of the plate. And I'm going to show you now with the top plate, now that I have that where I want it. With my top plate, again, you can see that I am lining that up kind of where these holes are. It's a little different for every letter, so it kind of depends. So you may have to play with it. I will tell you that I cut a few whole letters out first before I figured out where to go with this. But that's exactly how you're going to line it up for this particular word. And then all you're going to do is run it through your big shot. So I'm going to go do that really fast, and I'll be back in just a second to show you the results. Okay, I'm back, and we have this cut. So now all we're going to do is start to pull, and I just find that it's easier to have the letters release from the bottom here. And we're going to be careful pulling these off, just making sure that they all release, and they curl up just a little bit from being cut, but that is easily fixed. And now you can see that we have the bottom of the letter right there. So obviously this isn't the result you're looking for quite yet. So I'm going to pull in, scooch some things out of the way here, my self-healing mat. And then I'm going to pull in, here we go, self-healing mat, and my ruler, and my X-Acto knife. All right, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grid. Again, the grids are helpful for me and my eye here to try to make sure that this is reasonably straight. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to cut along here like this, and here, and here, here, and then all the way across. And sometimes these cuts will take multiple attempts. For me, I know that my skill with an X-Acto knife is a bit lacking. So just be patient, don't hurt yourself, and it's gonna come together pretty quickly. And of course, like with everything else, the more you practice, the better you get. And you'll find that if you're like me, you miss a few spots. But again, once you find those little corner pieces, you're gonna get them and get them fixed. Oh, one more. All right. And if you find any, like with me, I was pulling a little too hard and I had some tears. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that with my X-Acto knife. All right, I'll be back in just a second. I'm going to fix that up for you and then I'll show you what happens next. Okay, now the rest of this is just mechanics, but it's fun for you to learn the rest of how to put this card together. All right. The sentiment, as I used it in my card, it says love you. You could just leave it as love, tie on your buttons, and call it good. I thought it would be more fun for me to say love you. So I actually chose the for you sentiment from the stamp set Forever Florals. And I bet if you just go looking through your stamp sets, you have a you that you will like using. So what I did is I went ahead and obviously I don't want the for part in my for you. I only want the you. So how to handle that? I have my little piece of Whisper White cardstock here, and I went ahead and stamped on my Stamp-A-Jig, as you can see right here, the for you. Now, if I look at this, all I have to do is go ahead and block off cat fur just a little bit, Stamper's best friend apparently. And I'm just going to put down my sticky note here and make sure this is how I want it to look. And it is, lucky guess on the first try. Okay. And now I have masked off this, so I don't have to do any funny inking. I don't have to do anything complicated. I can just go ahead and pull out my Stamp-A-Jig. I pull my sheet away. I'm using Memento Black ink. Truly, it is such a great black, crisp, perfectly black, and I just love it. So I'm going to stamp, and then all I have to do is pull my sticky note away. And no muss, no fuss, no marker work, nothing hard. And we got that good. All right, so now the mechanics of putting it together. I have a Whisper White card base, A2 size. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I have this other print from the Stack with Love paper pack. Love these little black hearts. I love this background paper. And all I'm going to do is take my adhesive, and just doing it off screen to save a little time here. Take my adhesive, and all I have to do is line all of this up and attach it to the card base. All right, a couple reasons this is great. First of all, you have a writable inside and you still have the dark front, yay. And it gives a little heft to the card too. It makes it feel very solid. So now we have our love, and I'm going to take some of the black baker's twine. Well, my camera decided to cut off right in the middle of talking about black baker's twine. So here we are. I took some black baker's twine, and what I have done is I applied a bit of adhesive right here and right here. And then all I've had to do is just wrap the twine around 3 times, and it sticks back here, which kind of makes it helpful later when you're trying to put the card together, okay? So then I'm going to cut off another piece of baker's twine, and I'm going to start to thread it through this button here. This is just a basic black button. Oops, I may have to trim an end here. And thread that through. Nothing like threading on camera. Okay, let's see if we can do that. All right, and then what I'm going to do with the other end is I'm going to feed it through here. So I know it looks like the button was tied on, just looping it around and tying it all on, but I'm not really good enough to do that, and my links never work out right, and it's just never good. So now I'm going to see if I can't spin this up and put this through, because I really want to show you a little bit about how I tie these up. One of the nice things about the baker's twine, it's kind of a curse and a blessing, is because of how it is wound in the making to get these 2 threads, there's obviously a bit of a spin to it. So sometimes it helps when I'm going to show you how I get the ends of it to kind of become a little more curly. I guess that's the right word for it. I use my tweezers to tie. I do, because it seems that my fingers are too fat for that. I try to tie the bow as small as I possibly can, but you can see that that's not really small. And then I'm going to start pulling the bow to smaller. This is where the twist can hurt you, because sometimes the little loops will start to twist up a little bit, and you're going to have to play with them just a bit. The nice thing too with this is because it's not tied on traditionally, I can slide it along and decide where I want my bow to be, and my button. So then I have this, and I'm going to go ahead and just use my little paper cutters, and I'm going to trim that sentiment off just a little bit. And you'll notice this is just a little bit floppy. That drives me a little bit crazy. So I'm going to pull out my glue dots, and I'm going to use 2 of them for this. I'm going to use one, and I'm going to go right underneath the button and secure it down, and that makes that a little bit easier. And then I'm going to take a second glue dot, and I'm going to wrap it around the end of this sentiment. You can kind of see that it's wrapped right there around the end. And then when I tuck the sentiment in under the button, it kind of sticks on the bottom and the top, and I can kind of smash it all in there. And then if you decide that the bow is in the way of your word a little bit, you can kind of pull it just a little bit smaller. And then when I have the bow, and I'm reasonably assured how long I want the tails to be, I'm going to leave them just a little long, because what I'm going to do is going to ravel those ends a little. I'm going to hold this knot really, really tight, and kind of like if you were using scissors for that Christmas ribbon that twirls up, if you pull with your fingernail a little bit, this ribbon starts to get just a little bit of curl to it, this twine, and that's because of how it's twisted with the 2 colors. And you can see that end starts to fray just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, now that I have it all done, I can trim that off and make those ends nice and clean. All right, and then the last thing we have, we've already put this together here. So all we have to do now is put on dimensionals. You can use dimensionals, be generous in here, or if you prefer, you can use, they have a 3M foam tape that you can buy at office supply stores. For something like this, when you need a little bit more all the way around. This is kind of more economical, but you know, I love me some dimensionals, but I would have to use a whole lot of them to get this up where I like. So I actually did use the 3M tape on my example. And then finally, I'll bring back the final card. I just took two more. I took a cherry cobbler little tiny button and one of the whisper white buttons. I threaded them again with a little bit of that black and white baker's twine because I don't love a naked button. It's just an issue I have. I'm sure it's just my issue. And in any case, I went ahead and added those, and that just completed the sketch. And it also kind of gives you a visual triangle, which seems to make the cards more aesthetic. I am certainly glad you dropped by today to see me. I do very much appreciate you watching my video. I hope you'll come over and follow me on my blog. I'm on Pinterest, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. All of that information is posted right here, and I hope you'll come see me again soon. Thanks so much for watching.